back to my channel. This is Productive Mommy, and so I'm on part 2 of just discussion about a recap about our summer. And if you saw my last video, you saw that I kind of went over sort of an overarching view of the different things that happened. And so now I'm going to just zero in on the tragedy that we had over the summer. We lost 3 family members. We lost Rob's uncle in May, we lost my grandmother in June, and then we lost our pet dog in July. And so we've had a lot of grief. So what I'm going to be sharing with you today is really the 5 top things that I learned and that we help the children learn during this summer of loss. So the first thing we learned actually was that, death is a part of life. And so it's not as scary when you realize it's not some spooky thing that just jumps up and grabs you. It is a part of living. People passing away is a part of that, and our mourning is a part of that. And the second thing that we learned that we were able to show the children is how to mourn, because none of us are born knowing how to mourn. We're taught that, and so we're able to show the kids that how we mourn is that we mourn together as a family. And so when Rob's uncle passed away, Rob and I immediately packed up the kids and went over to his parents' house, and his uncle was his mom's baby brother. So of course that was really hard for her. And so we just were there and we were mourning together. And of course, other family members came. And so we were able to teach the kids that that's how you mourn, even if you might feel like, you don't want to ask people to come over or something. It matters that we're together. So the third thing that we learned, or that we help the children learn, is that as we celebrate the life of those who passed on, we actually can grow closer together. And so, we have family members coming in for the funeral, or we're just spending more time together as a family and sharing stories. And so that loss actually connects us together more strongly in life. The fourth thing that we learned is just that death makes us realize how precious life is, and it helps us to appreciate each other and celebrate each other more, while we're alive. We don't have to, it just makes us want to appreciate and spend time together more and value that time. A couple years ago, when we were able to go to my grandmother's a lot, because of course with COVID everything changed, but sometimes the kids wouldn't want to go. And so I would say to them, we don't know how much time we have with anyone, but especially when someone's in their 90s, we know that time is short. And so this time to get to visit them is precious and it matters. And so we are going to go. I know there's other stuff you'd like to do, but we're going to go and we're just going to spend time with Granny. And so that's what we did. And I think they really understood that now that she's passed away, that was worth it. That time was important and really valuable. The fifth and final thing that we learned, and that really was something new for me, is that it is actually possible to hold grief and joy in the same moment in time. And to be honest with you, I always thought that they were mutually exclusive. I thought that when you were grieving, you couldn't have joy, and when you had joy, you wouldn't have grief. But the reality is that for us as human beings, they're together. They run along the same track. And so, we can have the grief of losing family members while we have the joy of, like Jenny had a recital in June. We had the joy of going on vacation. We had the joy of just the other day having my son's 12th birthday party. And so we can enjoy those events while we're still grieving, right? And in some ways that gives me more hope, because it means I don't have to be stuck in like a spiral of feeling sad without knowing that there's joy still there, right? We miss our loved ones so much. And so that was just, I think that's just the really thing that stood out the most for me, is learning that you can hold joy and grief in the same moment. And the joy that we hold along with grief does not make the grief, it doesn't make our grief like matter less, or make it seem like we didn't love the person that much, right? They actually go together and they're good. It's good to have them together. And so that was a big one for me, and I was so glad to have the opportunity for our kids to learn that too. So even though this summer has been really tough, And we pray that we don't have to have any more losses the rest of this year. God has taken the challenges and he's made something good out of them. So thanks again for meeting me here. I'm Productive Mommy. Hope you like and subscribe, and I will be talking to you again soon.